Number 5. A group of leprechauns is making green paint. Green paint is made by mixing 3 pints of blue, and 2 pints of yellow paint. They have 24 pints of blue paint. How many pints of yellow paint? Do they need to make their green paint? Well, my favorite thing to do is to make a chart to help myself out. My ratio table is definitely my favorite item. So I'm going to create a ratio table, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to list blue paint here, and I will list yellow paint. I'm still going to use the blue marker because yellow is hard to see, so I'm going to put yellow paint right here. And it says for every 3 of blue, I have 2 pints of yellow paint. So let's just count out a little bit here and fill in some of this table. See if we can find an answer. So for blue, I'm counting by 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. Then it gives me 2 yellow. So I'm counting by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And maybe you're one of those people that prefers to do your tables like this. You want to do them up and down. So you put blue up here and yellow over here, which is totally fine. It's still the same thing. It doesn't matter. You'd still get the same answer, okay? So I just prefer to do mine this way. And it asks how many pints of yellow paint, so how many pints of yellow paint, do they need to make their green paint? Well, just a second. It says 24 pints of blue paint. 24 pints of blue paint. Oh, I'm looking here, and I haven't gone out far enough to get to 24 pints of blue paint. So I can't quite answer the question. I'm going to add some here. So I'm still counting by 3s. So 18, my next one would be 21. And then I would get to 24. So this is going to be the important one right here. I'm going to continue my yellow. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. So if I have 24 pints of blue paint, I would need 16 of the yellow paint to make my green paint. So my answer is A. For number 6, the creative engineering students are counting up the vegetables they grew in their gardens. They have 2 cucumbers for every 5 tomatoes. Which of the following could not be the total number of vegetables in the garden? So I've got cucumbers and tomatoes, but then it's asking me about the total number of vegetables in the garden. When it says the total number of vegetables, I've got cucumbers and tomatoes. I need to figure out total numbers of vegetables. So let's do that up and down table that we didn't do up above. And what I'm going to do is I am going to put cucumbers, tomatoes, and I'm going to put a total. All right. So I'm going to give myself some lines to fill in. So cucumbers, it looks like I'm counting by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Tomatoes, I'm counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Then I need to fill in my total column. So I'm going to look over here. 2 plus 5 is going to give me 7. 4 plus 10 is going to give me 14. So over here in my total column, I am counting by 7s. So 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. Now let's go back to what the question asks, now that I've got a very complete table. So which of the following could not be the total number of vegetables in the garden? So which one of these are never going to show up in this column right here? So let's take a look. And we've got 24. I don't see it in there, but let's look at the others and see. 14. 14 is in here, so I can cross that off. 35. See, 35 is in here, so I can cross that off. 42. 42 is not in here, so I've got to decide between 24 and 42. So there's a couple ways I could do that. The first is I can make my ratio table longer, and I can go to see if I'm going to hit 42. Before I do that, I'm going to take a look at what I have in this total column. I have multiples of 7. I've got 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So I'm going to look back up here, and I'm going to see which of these is not a multiple, because we're looking at not. Which of these is not a multiple of 7? 24 is not a multiple of 7. 42 is. 42 is the next number that we would get to. Let's see, the next multiple of 5 is 30. So 42 is a multiple of 7. 24 is not. So our answer is 24.